is Erin Johnson with OutstandingOhio.com. I'm here today with another Making It Monday, showing you how to make something great. Today I'm going to show you how I make cake balls, which is another holiday tradition at our house. It really has nothing to do with the holidays, but they're a little bit more involved to make, and they're great to give as gifts and to have out on your holiday cookie platter, so we tend to make them at the holiday time. The first thing, basically you can make them any flavor, and this is what's fun about it. You need cake mix, any kind of cake mix, and any type of frosting. And you can have fun with different combinations, and that's what's the inside of the cake ball. And then the outside of the cake ball is candy wafers that usually you can buy at the craft store, but any kind of melting candy wafers for the outer shell of it. So we're today making one of our favorites, which is banana cake with vanilla frosting, and then we really enjoy the dark chocolate wafers for the outside. But you can do like the fun red and green colored vanilla wafers for the outside. We've experimented with gingerbread cake, chocolate cake with chocolate frosting, chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. So many different, if you go down the frosting aisle at a higher end grocery store, not Aldi's, then you can find like strawberry frosting and cream cheese frosting and cherry frosting and all sorts of fun flavors that you can combine the cake mix with, and different cake mix options too with the frosting. So first thing you're going to do is just make the cake according to the package directions and let it cool. Oftentimes when we're doing our holiday baking, we'll do this the night before so that the cake's like ready to go, but I've already gone ahead and made the cake. And then you're going to just put it in a bowl any which way you want, because you're going to crumble it all up. And then you're going to take the can of frosting. Sometimes I'll use not quite the whole can. I'm going to start with about 3/4 of the can and see how that is. And then you're going to mix it up. Now here's where it can get messy. You can, if you want, use a hand mixer to mix it up. I don't tend to do that, although that would make it easier. I feel like it changes the consistency of it in a way that I don't like as much. So just use a spoon, or if you have nice clean hands, you can get your hands in there and goop it all together. Alright, so I do think we're going to need some more frosting. You want it to be so that it'll kind of stick together. You'll see it's starting to ball up a bit. I'll go ahead and use the rest of the can. Just mix it in there so that you don't have big chunks of frosting. Alright, so you'll see it's starting to gel together. Alright, so that's that. Then you're going to take wax paper on a cookie sheet and get a cookie scoop is what I find the best way to do it. You can ball it with your hands if you want, but again, I don't like to touch it with my hands so much. But I'm going to take the cookie scoop and kind of push it up against the edge so it's really squeezed in there, and then put it out on the cookie sheet. And you can put them kind of close together because you're not baking these. But what you're going to do, I find it works best to put them in the freezer for a while after this to get them a little more hard, and they're easier to work with when you put them into the melting chocolate. So I fill up the cookie sheet with these scoops. After it comes out of the freezer, you can kind of form them a little bit more into balls, but this gets it going. Alright, so the next step, I got them out of the freezer, and I'm just going to make them a little bit more rounded by rolling them between my hands like that. And then I went ahead and melted the candy wafers, put them in a bowl. I put the whole bag in this bowl for 1 minute, and then I stirred it a little bit, and it took an additional 30 seconds. And then it still looked like some weren't completely melted, but if I stirred it enough, they actually melted in. So with my microwave, it was 1 minute 30 seconds for that. And again, you can try whatever flavors you want. You can even do some in different flavors if you want to experiment with that. But for this, we're just going to do the banana cake balls with the dark chocolate candy coating. Okay, so I will show you. Got my melted chocolate here. I'm just going to dunk it in there, and then I like to take 2 forks and just make sure it gets covered, and then with 1 fork I take it on the side and just shake some of it down so there's not a ton at the bottom. You can even do that, and then put it on the wax paper. And then because we make a bunch of different kinds of cake balls, and just because I think it makes it look a little bit more festive, we usually put some sprinkles on the top. This helps us keep straight what's inside of there, because once you cover it, you forget, well, was that chocolate in there, or vanilla, whatever. So I'm gonna, this is really smart, put yellow sprinkles on because it's banana, so I could actually remember that. If I got any more complicated than that, I'd probably have to write it down so that I could remember. So that's all you do. You just dunk them in. Make sure it's covered. Kind of shake some of it off. Put it on the wax paper. And then if you want, put some sprinkles, or you could even put crushed candy canes on top. I've mixed in peppermint flavor with the chocolate before, put crushed candy canes on top. You could also mix like mini chocolate chips or even nuts inside of the cake balls is another option, or put nuts on top. There's so many things you can do with it, and they really come out great, and they are delicious. You'll see this one's already basically hard. The candy will harden, and I'm going to try to open this up with my hands, and you'll see that's the cake ball inside. It's like a piece of cake all in one bite.